Aloha kako, Gene Tamashiro here, sovereign Hawaiian national in full process of abjuration and renunciation from the occupying corporation. God bless you all. I want you to watch this video because it's actually compiled video evidence that proves that the Lahaina fires was not caused by wildfires or climate change. This was an attack, a genocide, a planned genocide. Watch this.
Hello. I found this. This toad is frozen in a moment. I am Arrow. I spent a couple weeks volunteering in Lahaina and stumbled across this while I was out there. This is a toad from Ground Zero Lahaina. It was found in the ashes about 6 or 7 weeks after the fire. The thing about holding it and picking it up is that all this top part seems to be hollow, and all the weight is on the lower part of itself, like it may be liquefied or something on the inside. And its eyelids are partially opened, it looks like. The body just held its form, held its shape. When it got flash frozen in a moment, mummified, petrified, carbonized, kind of like an instant rigor mortis. And there was trees that had been burned from the inside out, big, huge, old mango and tamarind, where you could see the roots and everything had burned heavily, but the outsides looked totally fine. I just wanted to share it, share support for Lahaina and everything that everybody there is going through, and don't forget about what it's going to take to come together as a community to do that in the long term. Remembering that aloha spirit that'll get us all through is aloha saves the world, so that's why I'm here.
Warning, this next picture is graphic, filmed by a Maui resident. Governor Joshua Green told the UN that a hurricane wildfire killed Maui residents. If this is true, why didn't his hair burn?
My friend who works for national security, she said that somebody contacted her and that they were actually pulling bodies out of the water that were frozen like they were swimming. Frozen like they were swimming. And he said it was the most traumatizing thing he's ever seen. We are not stopping. Lahaina, Maui, the nation has been attacked, is being attacked. The world is being attacked with these fires all over Canada, Australia, everywhere.
Could the government attack Lahaina with fire weapons or other weapons? Let's look at some facts. From the Defense Technical Information Center, authored by the Forest Service, Washington, D.C., 1970. The title is Forest Fire as a Military Weapon. The United States Air Force admits it can control weather with technology covered by United States patent, method and apparatus for altering a region in the Earth's atmosphere, ionosphere, etc. Then there's the Directed Energy Weapons Systems Act of 2016, which means military action using highly focused sound, electromagnetic, or particle beam energy to incapacitate, damage, or destroy enemy equipment, facilities, or personnel. Governor Green is lying to the UN about climate change emergency and that a passing hurricane caused the wildfire winds in Lahaina. First of all, Hurricane Dora was 647 miles south of Lahaina on August 7th, and as such, Hurricane Dora could not have caused the unnaturally high winds that Lahaina experienced. On a website, weather.gov, tropical storm force winds can stretch out as far as 300 miles from the center of a large hurricane. Hurricane Dora was a Category 4, not 5, and already too far away to affect Lahaina. A Maui resident studied Hawaii weather for 15 years, saw strange cloud patterns on August 7th, 2023.
Twice a day, there's a high-resolution shot of the entire planet, and this is the Hawaii version where it comes around and takes a high-resolution shot. On the 7th, we start seeing the clouds making wave patterns coming in lines, and by the afternoon of the 7th, it was totally pronounced. Even more curious is that the clouds don't go, these wave pattern clouds don't go past the Hawaiian Islands. They stop right at the Hawaiian Islands.
Wow.
and don't go past it. But I've never seen this pattern of lines perfectly lined up like that after 15 years of looking at weather satellite images. Here's the morning of the 8th. It's still in lines. But then the afternoon, you see the total lineup of clouds coming at us. And for some strange reason, Maui got blacked out. Now, sometimes these black lines like this do happen across the satellite images, has to do with something about how they take it. But it's curious how exactly when the fires happen, Hawaii is blacked out.
A California forest fire researcher comments on the aftermath of Lahaina fires that happened on August 8th.
Here you have, it looks like a grove of eucalyptus trees. They didn't burn. Meanwhile, the house is just gone. The cars, they all look like this. The windows will be melted out. Now, the auto glass melts approximately at 2,500 degrees. Forest fire goes up to 1,400.
Yeah, I was just going to say 1400.
Unless you're adding different accelerants or really burning some hot wood, you're not getting above those temperatures. But it would not melt these windows. You notice the doorknobs are always gone. The rims, they're an alloy or an aluminum. They melt out at 1,221 degrees. Here's a Jeep, I guess. Fires don't do this. The whole hood, it got so hot, the metal hood melted out. That's pushing 2,750 degrees.
Here is another Lahaina picture where a tree fell on a car and the branch had been cut. In the close-up of that branch, the bark of the tree is charred but intact. But the center of the branch looks like it was cooked from the inside out. What could cause this? Some have theorized a direct energy weapon, DEW, but more likely it was caused by some kind of microwave weapon. Here's another United States patent from April 2002, microwave transmission. A directed energy beam system uses an ultra-fast laser. What kind of weapon could use this laser? One possibility is the Morpheus drone, equipped with high-powered microwave effector.
Here you look at all the houses. They're white ash. Where's the black? Where's the carbon? So you're thinking intense heat. Well, why are all the trees still there? They're a little thin. I'm sure every one of them's dead. Perhaps some of the palm trees will come back. A palm tree is easy to light on fire. They burn up in a second. They're like grass. They're thin. If it doesn't ignite, these leaves just kind of wilt and turn dark colors. Another anomaly. They should all have been gone. With this kind of heat, everything should have been gone. Should have been stumps of trees. That didn't happen.
And it should be black, not white.
That's right. Out of these 38 aftermaths I've been, 35 of them I deem were unnatural fires. To me, this was a kill city, my own term. They weren't letting people out of the city. They were making you stay there. That's your police department. The firemen didn't show up, or very few did. They turned the cell phones off, I hear, for the town.
Yep.
They also turned the water off in the town. This was planned, who knows, 6 months or a year before. And all these larger entities are told or in on it to some degree. They're told what to do. Even your people in office.
Oh, absolutely.
Charge of the island. If there's a good guy, they're not at their levels. All these people have a lot of evil in them.
Yeah, the governor actually, he put out an emergency proclamation with no emergency 3 weeks before the fire, and he suspended 7 laws that affect housing and land development.
This is the giant banyan tree I've heard about. Here you have a fire all the way around it. Even the boats were on fire. Yet the banyan tree's dead, it looks like, but it didn't burn up. This isn't isolated. They're doing this around the planet.
Yeah.
So all this, and they want to call it global this, global that, climate this, like all that's a lie. And this giant banyan, why isn't it burned up? The building in front was toasted. The roof's gone. The windows gone. Everything's gone. It's the wrong flame. And that's my only answer to that. I can't describe what the flame's composition is. I just know there's microwave in there somewhere.
Then Governor Green talks about the perils of climate change. That is also a lie. Scientists around the world have signed a declaration stating there is no climate emergency. Then Governor Green gives his allegiance to the United Nations and sustainable development. So what does this mean for the individual? A loss of God-given inalienable rights and freedoms? No free speech, no freedom to travel, no freedom to own land. That's Agenda 21 and sustainable development. Just listen to Governor Joshua Green at the UN and judge for yourself if he's telling the truth.
Since the last time I was with you just 2 months ago, Madam Chair, Hawaii did suffer the trauma of a lifetime. A devastating wildfire claimed the lives of 97, at least, of our loved ones, displaced 12,000 of our people, destroyed centuries of history, development. It devastated the economy of that region, causing $6 billion in damage. And the fires that came, they came to us in the form of a fire hurricane. Winds were 74 miles per hour. on the tail end of a hurricane and swept through our town of Lahaina in 17 minutes. The speed, the heat, it destroyed our local communication systems, our water system, and all of our above-ground power infrastructure. We no longer anticipate the destructive events of climate change. We are now fully enduring them as a people and a world. So let me say this very clearly. There's no town or city or human community on Earth that is safe from this extreme weather that's fueled by climate change, which is why we must deliver on these sustainable development goals, and you are champions to this end.
The victims of the Lahaina fires were murdered by people working within the United States Government Corporation.
The truth needs to come out. We need 10% of people to wake up and see what is happening. That's all it takes for this to shift.
Okay, you guys saw the video evidence. These attacks that we experienced in Lahaina, they're being done all over the world. If you recall, the gentleman who's researched, the arborist, researching 35 different horrific forest fires and wildfires, he actually only found 3 that were naturally caused. 32 of those attacks that he looked at, planned genocide, planned destruction, using weapons that most people don't even know exist. But you saw the evidence that go back decades now, that the United States and private corporate powers have been developing these kinds of things. It's all funneling everybody into a corral of dystopia. It's real. There is a so-called New World Order, a so-called Great Reset. And the United Nations and complicit government corporations all over the planet, and media, and judicial systems. Everywhere you turn, people, unfortunately, have been compromised, have made a deal with the devil. But all of us, individuals, we have God-given rights. And those rights, no matter what cause, no matter what reason, only if you're not aware and you surrender them. So activate yourself. Look in the mirror, pray to the Most High that He would guide, and He will guide, protect, and inspire and bring together the people for the miracle that is required. But be strong. God bless you. We love you. Aloha, love will conquer all this evil. Aloha will save the world.